Hello, hello, NFA Money Mamas. It's time for episode number 32 of the Women Entrepreneur Podcast. And because it is nearing the end of 2022, we're going to talk about goal setting. But we're going to have a very different conversation than you're used to hearing about goal setting, because I'm going to teach you 3 things you need to know about goal setting that are different than anything you usually hear. Most people set goals wrong, and I want to teach you why and how to set goals that will set you up for success for 2023. So that's what you're going to get today on this episode of the Women Entrepreneur Podcast. If you don't know me yet, I'm Dr. Amanda, the Money Healer. I'm known for going from food stamps to building a 6-figure business fast. And it is my joy, my jam, my zone of genius to teach you tricks to up-level your money vibe so you can make easier money in your business and really overall work less, make more, and have fun. And everything I do is helping you get to that place where you feel like you're flowing. You feel good. You wake up in the morning and you feel alive and you look forward to your day instead of waking up and going, oh my God, is it another day? I'm stressed out and I've built a prison out of my life and business. We don't want that. I don't want that for you. So hang out with me if you want to learn how to live in a state of joy, make money, doing what you love, and manifest all your dreams. And that's really what goal setting is about. So let's dig into today's topic. First, let's define goals in the way that I like to think of goals. I define them as goals are planned thoughts accomplished by having aligned beliefs, feelings, decisions, and actions. So your thoughts are the originating point of fulfilling your goals. Okay, let me say that again. Goals are planned thoughts accomplished by having aligned beliefs, feelings, decisions, and action. So what we're talking about here is alignment. Alignment is by far the most important thing about goals. First, in the way that you set goals, you want to be aligned, okay? When you are setting goals that are pie in the sky fantasies, you're not in alignment, okay? And let's relate this straight to money. A lot of people at the beginning of the year set money goals. And I'll give you an example. I had a client once who set a goal to save 20 grand for the year. And he was like, I want to save $20,000 this year. And so I said, okay, cool, let's break it down. And when we broke it down, he realized that this was far more per month than he could manage at his current monthly income. And so he was either going to need to change his goal or he was going to need to change his income. And it helped shock him into the recognition of like, oh, I'm setting a goal that's not very realistic. And I know it sounds simple, but most of us do this. We set goals where we don't really think about, is this something that I feel aligned with? Is this a pie in the sky thing because I'm trying to trigger myself into some sort of action? But realistically, when we look at it, we go, hey, we don't even really have a plan. We're not really sure about it. And it's just this idea of like, oh, I want to be better at saving. Okay, so you really want to get to the core of why it is that you're setting goals. That's alignment. When you're aligned, it means that your beliefs are in alignment with your thoughts, your decisions, your actions, your feelings, your state of being. Okay, so the 3 things I'm going to teach you about setting goals are what's going to help you get into alignment. And you might think this sounds overly simplistic because you're going to go, really? This is the 3 things? But let me break it down. Stick around to hear everything I say because it's more complex than you would think. And it's why most people fail when they set goals. I looked it up this morning and as I was planning this podcast episode, and the research varies, but the most common number I found was that only 8% of people accomplish their goals. 8%, that's not very many. And why is that? That's what I want to help you figure out today. So I'm going to give you an overview of what the 3 things are, and then we're going to dig into each topic. So thing 1 is the B part. So in the simplest way, it's be, do, have. Okay. These are the 3 things about setting goals. Be, do, have. You must do them in this order. Okay. What most people do is they forget the be, do, have model of attracting what you want through manifestation-based principles. And I just recently had a whole workshop on this, how to set manifestation-based goals. And this is a huge topic in this because when you are out of alignment with setting goals, you are, if you don't know this, on YouTube, I do this, I do our show as well. And so sometimes when you hear me hesitating for a second, it's because I'm moving banners around so that you can see what I'm talking about as I write up what I'm talking about, just so people who are visual on YouTube can see it. Okay, so the thing about setting goals that you need to know is that you must be aligned in your state of being. So when we think about our beingness, it's alignment in our state of being. And what most people do is that they go, oh, I want to have the thing that I set my goal toward, say it's a dollar number in the bank. And once I have that, I'll be fulfilled and I'll feel good. And that's why they set the goal in the first place, because why would we set a goal if we don't really think that it's going to bring us some sort of happiness, right? There's no point in setting a goal if we don't think that. We're not setting goals to make ourselves feel miserable. The thing is that it's out of order for us to think that once we have the thing, we're going to feel better, because in the law of attraction and manifestation-based goal setting, you must become what you choose to attract in order to attract it easily. Okay. So for example, it goes against laws, the universal laws, to say, I'm going to have the thing, then be happy, and then I'll get to do what I love. Right. Or I'm going to work really, really hard to get the thing, the have part, and then I'll be happy. Right. So you see how this be, do, have model, most people have backwards. First and foremost, you want to remember it's in your beingness that attracts that which you say you want. And so this sounds counterintuitive, because the process, or it is counterintuitive in a certain way, because the process of becoming who you choose to be and who you need to be to attract the thing you want is what actually attracts the goal and what creates the fulfillment of the goal. It's really interesting. It's an identity shift. In Atomic Habits, James Clear talks about this a lot, that it's really challenging to create new outcomes until you change your identity. And he uses a really cool example in this one about goal setting. He says, if you're quitting smoking cigarettes and you're quote unquote trying, and someone asks you, hey, do you want a cigarette? And you've decided that you want to quit. And you say, oh, no, I don't want one. I'm trying to quit. Versus someone asking you, you say, no, I'm not a smoker. Okay. You hear the difference in I'm trying to quit, you're going to fail, because trying it represents struggle and that you really haven't set your mind to it clearly. And when you say, oh no, I'm not a smoker, your identity is that you're not a smoker. Right. And so you've got to have a beingness change, and then you have the outcome. So let's say your goal is to make a certain amount of money in the bank. You've got to really feel it within yourself. First, your state of being needs to be aligned. You need to have your beliefs aligned that it's possible for you to have that goal achieved. You've got to have your thoughts continually focused on the achievement of the goal. So you're seeing it and you're feeling it. You're knowing it's possible. You already feel as if it's true. So let's say it's a 6-figure business. You go like, yeah, I'm a 6-figure business owner. That's 100% possible for me. And you got to feel it in your being. Then what happens is you will take step number 2, which is, oh, this is interesting. Hang on. I'm on YouTube. I gotta change this up here. Here we go. Step number 2, do, which is the taking inspired action in the direction of your goal. So in number 1, when you're in an aligned state of being, it means you have the beliefs set up for your success. You've clearly chosen that which you choose to create, which is your goal. Okay. So you're clear about what your goal is. The first step in manifesting is to decide with clarity and certainty what you want. Okay, so decision, clarity, certainty. Decision, clarity, certainty. When you are certain about something, you will automatically feel aligned, because when you're 100% certain, you go, yeah, it's absolutely possible. You might not yet have all the feelings in your being of oh, yes, I'm there already, because you're not there. As long as you know it's possible, you can be aligned in an aligned state of being, because you can see it being fulfilled already in your future. So let's say for 2023, you go, I am choosing to create a 6-figure business, and you're so aligned. You're so certain it's possible. You're like, yes, 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 I see it possible for me. Then what will happen is that you'll start taking aligned action and inspired action. You won't procrastinate or hesitate because it's aligned. And this is where most people get stuck on step number 2, or thing number 2 that you need to know is the do part. When you are in inspired action, you will automatically do what it takes. You won't hesitate. You won't procrastinate. You won't feel as much fear. You might feel some, but you're going to do it anyway. You're going to be like, that's okay. I'm scared. I know I'm breaking through some parts of myself, but I'm going to do it anyway, because I know it's possible. My success is inevitable. If I stay on track, I know I can get there by the end of the year. Okay. So inspired action indicates clarity and certainty. Okay. Action is evidence of belief. I want you to remember that action is evidence of belief. So when someone tells me they're having troubles with procrastinating, I already know that somewhere in what they said in this number one, the beingness is out of alignment. Because if they were in alignment, they wouldn't be procrastinating. So for me, then when I'm working with people, say, it's my job to detect, are they out of alignment because they're really afraid, or because the thing that they're saying that they want is not actually in alignment with their true calling, their highest values, their zone of genius. And so you got to pick that apart for yourself. You got to go, hey, is this thing that I say I want, is it driven out of fear and doubt and uncertainty, and I'm trying to prove myself? Or is it something that's really aligned with my higher callings, with my zone of genius, with my highest values, right? So you got to know that for yourself. Is this thing in number one, when I say, hey, I have a goal that I choose to accomplish, is it aligned for you? If it's not, it's going to be very hard to accomplish that goal. And that's why most people fail, because they set goals that are really not in alignment with their highest callings. They don't have a strong enough why to fulfill that goal. Okay. So these are the types of things you want to be thinking about when you're setting your goals for 2023. Okay. So are you being aligned? Do you believe it's possible? Do you have certainty? Have you made a true decision and committed? Once you're committed, you just recommit every day, and then your success is inevitable. Okay. If you do those things, then you will automatically do number two, which is the do part. You will take inspired action. And then you will have number three accomplished, the have part. And this is manifest by letting the universe bring you the opportunities. This is another tricky one for people, because on this have part, most, especially high achieving, powerhouse thinking people, tend to overthink the plan. So what I've seen a lot of people do is at the beginning of the year, they write out this huge plan for the entire year. And they write out, January is going to look like this, February, March, April, and they do this whole big plan. And then so much changes between January and March that then in April, they start to go, oh crap, I got to rethink everything. And so I don't like to have people set out an entire plan for the year. I like to have them go, hey, let's look at the vision for the year, and what are your top 5 lifetime goals. So always come up first with your top 5 lifetime goals, because every year then is just you taking action on getting to the fulfillment of the top 5 lifetime goals. Okay, so come up with your top 5 lifetime goals, and then reverse engineer every year from there, every decade from there. And then you just start taking action by being aligned. And then you will manifest with certainty. Okay, so manifestation, I'm going to review, because I know that you might not remember from other episodes. And I could have looked these up. Let's actually look this up real quick. 3 steps to manifest. Okay, so episode number 11. Go listen to episode number 11 and hear about the manifestation formula. You really want to be thinking about, hey, what are the 3 steps? I even have on the website, I have I'm going to look this up real quick for you. A manifestation-based formula roadmap. If you go to thewomenentrepreneurpodcast.com, you'll see the manifestation formula in a downloadable version, and you can start to play with that there. I want to find this other. Interesting. I didn't do an episode on this yet, so that's on the YouTube channel. Okay. I want to connect you some fun resources, all that I was going to say the word entangled, intersecting, overlapping in the topic of today, and entangled, because manifestation is entangled with goal setting. Really, all you're doing when you accomplish a goal is manifesting. Right? They're the same exact things. So goals, remember I said goals are planned thoughts accomplished by having aligned beliefs, feelings, decisions, and actions. When you are aligned in your beliefs, thoughts, feelings, decisions, and actions, you manifest, right? Because you're certain, you're clear, and you send the signal to the universe that what you want is 100% possible. You already believe it to be true. And so now it can fulfill number 3 that I'm talking about here, the have part, because you let the universe bring you the ways. Now, like we said, going back, don't overplan, because what happens is you get really stuck in your type A thinking, where you go, I've got to be in control. I've got to plan everything. I've got to know everything. And in truth, you only need to know the first next step. Okay. You don't need to know step A to Z. When I started my business and I went from food stamps to 6 figures, I didn't know step A to Z. No freaking way. I just knew with 100% certainty it was possible for me to create a 6-figure business, because I started my business by going to an event and hanging out with a whole bunch of coaches who were making 6, 7, 8 figures. And I was like, holy shit. there's so many people doing this. Like, this is absolutely possible. It planted the seed in my mind so powerfully that I was like, my success is inevitable. Absolutely. I know I can accomplish this. Now, that first year of my business, I worked way harder than I do now. I've every year made less, worked less, made more, and had more fun. And sometimes that doesn't mean I've made more money. And actually I have every year. I'm not certain yet this year. We're closing out my books right now. This year I might actually have brought in less revenue, but I worked less. So my ROI is higher. So every year I've broken 6 figures. And in the last 3 years, I'm moving into the 5th year of my business. So years 1, 2, and 3, my income went up. And each of those years I worked less. This year I worked a lot less and made more in terms of ROI and still broke 6 figures. Next year, I'm really excited to see 2023 because I've got so many cool things in place to get to 7 figures. And we'll see if that's what happens. It's not a hard and fast goal for me because I don't like to set hard and fast goals anymore. And what I mean by hard and fast is I don't love numbers-based goals because it doesn't allow for freedom and flexibility and for this number 3 to happen where I manifest by letting the universe bring me the opportunities. I've had some surprises in my business this year where it was like, oh, I need to revamp this or redirect this. And so I've gotten a lot less rigid around goal setting. And this has really helped me to fulfill that my mantra, the NFA mantra of work less, make more, have fun. Because what will happen is if in number 3, like I'm talking about, if you're one of those people who gets really rigid and planned, and I know a lot of you do because I hear this all the time, and I know I was like that too, you get stressed out and overwhelmed because you'll put a ton on your plate to make sure that you fulfill the goal. And a lot of people who follow me who are NFA style, no fucking around style, it's like that hell or high water mentality. You're like, oh, I'll do it no matter what, but you don't feel good along the way. I worked with a company for a while that I don't work with them anymore. And I watched the way that they did their business. And it was like they'd set goals and they would achieve them. And from my perspective, the way they felt wasn't aligned. It was like creating a lot of chaos, high stress. Team was stressed. And I'm like, ooh, I don't want to create that in my business. Like, that's not how I choose to accomplish and manifest my goals. And I don't want that for you either, unless that's what you want. Hey, if you want to be stressed out, go for it. But you're probably not hanging out with me for that reason. So my quest is to teach you how to enjoy building your business and have it every year make more money, so you create stability, you accelerate your income, and you enjoy the process because you're aligned in exactly what I'm talking about today. And so don't get stuck on over planning. In order to have this number 3 be fulfilled, the 3 things you must know about goal setting, and number 3 is the have part. You've got to manifest by letting the universe bring you opportunities. This means you've got to surrender some, and you've got to be willing to be a little bit looser than you've been, meaning not so scheduled, not so planned. You've got to let room for creativity in your schedule. You've got to choose to wake up every day and get aligned first, which means you go, hey, even if I have a busy day, I know how important it is to get aligned first because of thing number 1, right? B. You've got to remember the B part. Be, do, have. Remember this order. If you just walk away from this episode knowing that be, do, have, be, do, have, be, do, have. That's the order of manifestation. Be, do, have. If you remember that, then return and listen to this. That's how you set goals that get you what you want and manifest easily in a state of joy, flow, fun, and freedom. Okay. Practically speaking, if you want some tips on how I manifest, it's through scripting. So I do daily scripting, and I don't have an episode on here yet. I can't believe I don't. It's actually, I'm realizing it's on YouTube. Let's see. I want to give you the title. Actually, if you just go to my YouTube channel, NFA Money. So go to YouTube, NFA Money, and just type in scripting on my YouTube channel, and you will find how I set goals and how I manifest. And again, like I said, manifestation to me is accomplishing goals. So it's a really great practical step you can take every day to start attracting your goals, to start fulfilling your vision by scripting. So just go to NFA Money YouTube channel and type in the search scripting, and you'll find a couple of videos there about how I use scripting to manifest and accomplish goals. So let's recap before we wrap up. You are going to know these 3 things for goal setting. Number 1, be. Number 2, do. Number 3, have, be, do, have, be, do, have, be, do, have. And in that be, it's you thinking about your aligned state of being. In number 2, the do, it's taking inspired action in the direction of the goal that you've set. And number 3, it's in the have part, it's manifesting by letting the universe bring you the opportunities, having faith that you just need to take that next first step, and the universe will keep bringing you opportunities as long as you're aligned. It's inevitable. Your success is inevitable. Your goal fulfillment is inevitable. Yeah. Okay. Just so you know, if you want a biz breakdown session and to hang out with me on the podcast to get some scaling tips and to expose your business to more people, and I want you to go back and listen to some of the biz building sessions that I've had with other people on the podcast, other awesome rock star women business owners. Listen to those and go to thewomenontrepreneurpodcast.com and click on Get Your Biz Breakdown Session. You can come on the show, hang out with me. We'll have a great time talking about how you can scale your business from your zone of manifestation and make money doing what you love. Until next time, I'm sending you big hugs and NFA money making high fives.